everybody, it's time for another Pick a Stick challenge. This is for June 2016. As always, I will put the links below to our Facebook challenge page group and anything else interesting I think about. Basically, we have 10 steps that we pull from our inspiration sticks, and the hard part is you got to follow them in order. We have some doozies this time. Step number 1, make a mess, blot it up. That's easy. I could just do that for the whole 10 steps and we'd be good. Number 2, add numbers. Number 3, crayon resist with acrylic paint. Number 4, write something with love. Number 5, create a tag to use on your page. Number 6, add a fashion element, and I'll just explain mine to you right off the bat. One I was definitely perplexed by. This is my fashion element. Okay, I cut this out of a magazine. It is a pot of cream blush. I don't know if you can see what that says or not. But yes, it says cream blush from RMA. It's RMS. So I thought, okay, makeup, fashion, whatever. Yeah, that's my fashion element. Just roll with it, okay? Alright, number 7 is stitch. Number 8 is use alcohol. Debated waiting until the evening to make my picture, do my project so that I could just say have a margarita, and that was my alcohol, but no, I'm going to be brave. Alright, number 9, draw something, and number 10, use images. Again, individually, these aren't that bad, but it's always the order in that kicks my behind every time. So, I have pulled out some things. I pulled out a bunch of paints and sprays, some magicals, some tags, some images, because number 10 is use images. I've got some magazine images cut out over here. Yeah, we'll just see what happens, so bear with me or speed me up. Whatever your preference is. Anyway, we're going to set some music, get you going here, and see what happens. Alright, here we go. Okay, so here we go with step 1. This was by far probably the easiest thing I did on this whole project. I'm simply taking my distress paint and dabbing it all over my craft sheet. And then I'm going to blot it up with the journal itself as I jiggle the camera to pieces. I kind of like the way this came out, actually. Could have just left it all by itself, but you know, there's other stuff we got to do. And I'm going to continue the blotting up with some index cards here. That way I can have some that already have a little stuff happening on them when I go to work on my iCads the next time. And that iCad, that stands for index card a day. Okay, here I am taking some titanium white acrylic paint. Although I really love this background here, I want it to be more in the background because I'm afraid it's going to be too bright and overpower what I have planned for later. So just with a baby wipe and this white paint, I'm just giving a little thin layer over it to push it a little bit more into the background. Right, here I've got some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist and Tutti Frutti and my trusty bubble stencil. I'm just going to continue to build some layers onto this background with different stencils and mists. And again, not going to waste any of this goodness that's on my stencil, picking up some more of that on the index cards that'll be used later down the line. Now here I have a Lindy Stamp Gang spray and another stencil, just adding some more colors. I'm trying to go with some pinks and peaches and blues and aquas here on this project. So there you have it. coming in with kind of a honeycomb stencil and some white acrylic paint just to give it a little bit more interest and look like there's another layer of fun stuff happening. So the next step was to add some numbers. So I had these stickers that had letters and numbers on them, and I'm pulling out the numbers for 0616 since this is June and 2016 for our challenge. I had trouble with these sticking, had to come back and hit them down with some matte gel medium. Next step was crayon resist and acrylic paint, and I must say, yes, for me, this was an epic fail. I even came back over and tried it again and still had no luck with it. So I'm not sure what I did wrong, but I'm glad I didn't go with my first instinct, and that was to kind of scribble all over the page and do something gigantic, because that would have been bad, folks. Next step was to write something with love. So I took my white gel pen and just wrote a little note, kind of incognito on the side, about my husband. Aww. Alright, next step is to create a tag on your page. I'm using some Magicals, Lindy's Magicals here, and just dabbing little bits of the powder on to this tag, and then I'm going to hit it with water. This would have worked a lot better had my tag been either watercolor paper or mixed media paper, but it was very thin cardstock, and pretty much when I hit it with water, it just became a mess and didn't move and run and react like I wanted it to. But that's okay. I'm going to use it anyway. Remember, folks, it's just paint, it's just paper. In this case, it's just pigment powder and paper. So I decided this needed a little bit more, of course. So I pulled out my bubble stencil, of course, and some gold Tattered Angels Glimmers Mist, and I'm going to take that excess and put it on my page. And the fashion element, like we talked about in the beginning, this is a picture of a pot of lip gloss or something like that. No, I'm sorry, it was blush, that's right. So that's as fashion-y as we got for today. And then just some random punched out circles that I'd had from some other project a long time ago. So we're just kind of going with a circle-y round shape thing here. And now I'm going to come back over these with primarily metallic gelatos and try to give a little definition to these. I am working with a baby wipe directly to the paper, and then also wetting my finger with a baby wipe as well to move these gelatos around. Trying to darken that up a little bit more on that one. And then I will also add a little bit of a white highlight on the opposite side, just like I knew what I was doing with some shading or something. Alright, I kind of cheated on step 7, which was to stitch. Yeah, I'm not going to do needle and thread and stuff like that. So I just took a pit pin here and I'm just making some faux stitching lines around my circle. And then also going around the outside edge with a large big brush pin. As we've talked about before, although these are permanent India ink, if you're working on a sealed surface, you have a little bit of open time with them, and that's what you see me doing with my finger there, is I'm laying the ink down and then kind of smudging it with my finger to give a shadow around these elements. Alright, here is the big alcohol step. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some metallic paint fairly watered down and brushing it in different pages, and then rather than be all nice and neat with a little container of alcohol, whatever, I'm just dunking it with my fingers and dribbling it on there, and it's working pretty good. See kind of an up close of how the alcohol worked in the different places on the page. Came out pretty good, I thought, for just something haphazard. Okay, number 9. This is, I also kind of cheated on this step. This says to draw something. Well, I don't draw, guys, so I'm outlining some of the hexagon, is that what they are? I don't know, honeycomb shapes with a white jelly pen. So I cheated, so there. I don't think the art police are going to come and get me, but just in case, I'll keep looking over my shoulder. Alright, so I'm back to my tag again. I've decided it has taken on far too orange of a look to go with my page, so I'm adding a little pink metallic paint through the bubble stencil and then also going re-edging it. As you can see, I'd also added one of my cutout images on there, and I'm going to outline that with that big brush pen as well. And then I'm going to add a little phrase here, a little hand lettering that's going to say Papa Top. And you'll see why as I go to the next step of adding the images. Okay, so here's our images. There was a feature in Country Living magazine a while back about old soda bottles. And on a couple of pages, all around the pages, were images of vintage pop bottle tops. So I cut out several of those that kind of went with my color theme, and I kind of picking up circles. That fashion element, my pot of cream blush, kind of set the tone for everything. I knew I wanted to go with circles, and I knew I wanted to continue kind of that color family. So I tried to pick out several of those pop bottle top images that kind of picked all that up. See, there really is method to my madness. I know, it's shocking. It shocks me too. What can I say? Be sure you pop over to our Facebook page for the Pick a Stick Challenge. Every month we have a new challenge that we put out with these 10 fabulous steps that you need to do in order. And join in on the fun. We have a blast. There's a lot of amazing artists that post their work, and we would love to have you come and join us. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you have a blessed day. And if you haven't already, I hope you'll like and subscribe and come back for more fun later. Bye guys. Thank you.